And so here in Chicago, the singing of the national anthem. You look at the three officials for the game. Bruce Hood will be the referee. Willard Norris, Bob Luther, the two linesmen. Tony Esposito, how long's he been around? On the right of the screen on television, and he'll be on our right so far as our radio broadcast is concerned. In goal for Chicago, and Larry Lozinski making the start for the Detroit Red Wings tonight. Or this afternoon, if you will. The Wings will start the hockey game with their line of Dale McCourt, John O'Grodnick, and Mike Foligno. Jean Hamel and Willie Huber back along the defense, it away and coming out with it now. The Hawks bring it out center ice. Greg Fox, he lost it. Here now Dale McCourt to Foligno with a shot right on. And the rebound is in the net. They have scored. That was the first shot the Wings have had at Tony Esposito, and it bounced in off of him.
This puck hit Esposito up on the shoulder, dropped between his legs, and he didn't know it was there. Mike Foligno following the play in, just knocked it. A hard, high shot by Foligno. Hits Esposito up high and drops right down between his legs, and he looked backwards. And Foligno following the play in, he must have tipped it because he was covered by two Chicago players, but he just pushed it in the net.
It was Foligno who actually started the play. He broke up the Chicago move. Now the play right back into the Detroit zone, and a wicked shot fired by Keith Brown, and Lozinski came up with another fine save.
Well, Detroit is they're backing in a little too much. You can't let these fellas move in through the slot 15, 20 feet out in front of the net. He could have walked in another 5 feet if he'd wanted to. Lozinski made a fine pad save, then grabbed the loose puck before anybody could jump on it.
Mike Foligno with his 28th goal of the season. He hasn't scored in the last 9 games, so it has to feel pretty good to him.
I was talking about Chicago injuries earlier. Dave Hutchison is out of the lineup. Terry Ruskowski, one of their leaders. Darryl Sutter, Ted Bully, all big names on the Chicago club.
Now the play is carried in behind the Detroit goal. A centering pass by Savard. A backhand shot, and Higgins scores. Tim Higgins fired it by. Lozinski just didn't have a chance on it. And Sid, with the exception of the one scoring play, the Red Wings haven't had them play in the Chicago end at all.
It's been all Chicago. There again, both defensemen took the player directly out in front of the net and left Higgins out about 5, 6 feet out further. He just turned around and backhanded the puck. Lozinski didn't even know he had shot it. Ties this game up in a hurry.
So Higgins gets his 23rd goal of the year. 3 minutes and 44 seconds to tie the game at 1-1. Tom Lysiak right along the line, turned around by Foligno. Here's Larson, they're 3-on-1. Larson right over the line with a shot, and he scores! And Reed Larson breaks a little scoring drought himself. And the Wings breaking down the ice, lead it now 2-1.
I think Reed Larson and Mrs. Larson having that baby yesterday probably just changed Reed's thinking and playing hockey. He just come out of his own zone in a full charge. There was no way they were going to stop him. And the way he can rifle a puck, he moved in within about 35 feet, the top of the circle, and he beat Esposito cleanly on his glove side. Esposito moved his hand after the puck was in the net.
An unassisted goal for Larson, his 27th of the year at 17 minutes and 43 seconds.
That's for their baby girl, that one.
Ah, yes. Brown, and the play will come back into the Detroit end. Well, Reed had gone a long time without a goal. He had to go back 13 games in February 27th when he scored his 26th against Edmonton. So he and Foligno, two guys that haven't had any luck around the net, have both put it together. And the Wings have come along, I'm going to say, rather strongly here in
yes, they have.
The last half of the period.
You know, when the Wings started to go sour, it's pretty well the time Curtin hurt his shoulder. Foligno stopped scoring. Larson stops. It's the last month when things started to really taper off real bad. The only fellow that was carrying things as far as the scoring, actually two of them, was Willie Huber and Dale McCourt.
So we're back to the live action, and the puck driven all the way down the ice into the Chicago zone. Doug Wilson back after it. Larson for hooking at 19:06. Now back into the Detroit zone. Denis Savard fell down. Kerr follows up, took it into the corner, deep in the Detroit end. His pass in along the boards. Kerr went in after it himself, played it back on the line. Doug Wilson on the right side to Murray with a shot. Lozinski stopped it, and on the rebound, the puck is driven into the net. It just bounced around in the goal mouth. Finally, Denis Savard lifted it into the empty goal.
Well, it bounced off the post and then bounced through the open part of the net. Denis Savard standing over the other side. It's just amazing how this puck will treat the Wings unkindly. Went Lozinski made the save. Kerr tried to put it in, hit the post. It bounced across through the open goal mouth. Savard was the only player on the other side. He just dumped it in the empty net to tie the score. And these are the kind that hurt. Just 20 seconds to go in the period.
Well, a power play goal for Denis Savard, his 28th goal of the year at 19 minutes and 40 seconds to tie the game at 2-2. So here at the Chicago Stadium, we have played 2 periods of hockey. The Detroit Red Wings trail now by a score of 3-2. Shots on goal in the second period, the Red Wings had 16, and they did carry the play through the first half of the period particularly. The Hawks had 14, scoring the goal by Higgins from Kerr and Savard at 18 minutes and 18 seconds. And Sid, it was a good goal.
It's been a good hockey game for 2 periods. Both clubs, the goaltenders have been the feature of the game. Lozinski's come up with so many big saves, and then the play would go right down, and Esposito would be called upon to make saves. So it's a goaltender struggle, and whoever can keep the puck out is going to win the hockey game.
I would like to think that the Red Wings have played one of their better hockey games in recent weeks here this afternoon. 1 week from tonight, or 1 week from today, actually, the Wings wind it all up against the Washington Capitals. Well, it was a late goal in the second period, and we can take a look at it right now, Sid. It was a fine play by a veteran hockey player, Reg Kerr, as he dropped it off, and Higgins fired it home for his 24th goal of the season, his second of the hockey game.
It was probably the best play of all the goals scored. It was a little drop pass by Kerr back to Higgins. Larry Lozinski didn't have a chance at all. There was a screen out in front of him, and Higgins' shot caught just inside the far post. And I'm sure Lozinski was probably as surprised as anyone that it was in, but it was a great shot by Higgins and a great play by Kerr. How Savard got into the play, I don't know. He may have made the pass coming out of their own zone, but it was a real nice finish to a good breakaway.
Well, we've made mention of the fact that the Red Wings have a couple of players on the injured list. Randolph Travel Service, Windsor Arena, Fisher Theater, Connolly's Jewelers, the Wren Cellar, Showerman's Party Store, and Dickens' Den.
You were talking about shots, Bruce. It just shows what yesterday's game must have been like. Detroit had 6 shots in the first period, 2 in the second, a total of 8 shots going into the third period. Here today in a wide open contest with both goaltenders playing real well, the Wings have had 30 to the Hawks 28. So it's been an up and down hockey game with good scoring opportunities by both clubs.
Red Wings back out onto the ice. We await the reappearance of the Chicago Blackhawks, who'll be making their move out here in a moment or so. I got a question for you, Sid. The answer, I think, will be easy. Mark Sawicki, a 9-year-old young man out of Detroit area, dropped a note and asked if there has ever been a hockey game that went the entire 60 minutes without a penalty being called.
Boy, I don't have the answer.
Oh, I'm sure there have been.
Yes, I would think there have been many a time. Especially back a few years ago, possibly tougher now because of the scrambly type of hockey that's played from time to time.
Well, I thought you'd have that answer right at the...
Well, I say yes, Mark, there has been many a game where there hasn't been a penalty call.
Yeah, well, I thought really that there would be no hesitation on your part. You'd come right out there.
I was going to ask you a question. What does this game mean to the Chicago Blackhawks? Can they move up the ladder where their opponent in the first round of the playoffs would be different?
Well, Chicago coming into this hockey game with number 12 position. They have a total of 73 points. They are at the moment tied with Quebec, though Quebec has a game in hand. They are 3 points ahead of Pittsburgh, who are certainly in a position to catch them, and only 2 points behind Vancouver. So if it did anything, it might change around who is going to play who come playoff time in the first round.
There are the goaltenders, Esposito on the right, Larry Lozinski on the left, both about the same size, both big men. Esposito's been one of the standouts here for Chicago for many, many years.
We have had a total of 8 penalties called in the game, 4 aside, and Brad Smith and Lauren Robideau have 5 seconds remaining.
Here's a shot from just inside the blue line, and you don't see the action out in front of the net, but there's a lot of traffic out there. Jimmy Corn holding his ground. Esposito makes the save and holds onto the puck. Brad Smith over on the far side.
Now from the Detroit bench, Mark Curtin comes out to take the face-off, replacing Nedomansky. Skirton laying it in behind the goal. Brad Smith given a check there by Lysiak. Smith still worked it back to Huber. He sets up Dale McCourt. McCourt with a shot. And a save made. It's loose right out in front. They jam away at it and they score. Mark Curtin has tied the game on the power play. It is 3-3.
And what a play Curtin made. He came across the front of it on his backhand, tried to jam it in, and Esposito beat him. It came right back out to him. He just moved it a little further over and then jammed it in the corner. A terrific shot by McCourt set this up. McCourt from just 5-10 feet inside the blue line gets the puck on the net, which means so much. Bounces back over to Curtin. Curtin moves out in front of the net by himself on his backhand. Tried to put it in. Esposito beat him, but then the puck come right back to Curtin. Then he had the whole net to put it in, and he just jammed it in the open side.
Here's McCord, handed it to Ogrodnik. He laid it out in front, but Foligno had not come up on it. They go in behind the net. Ogrodnik battling to get it out in front, but it's dumped back down the ice, and Willie Huber couldn't get to it. Puck handed off to Kerr. Here's Kerr with a shot. He scores!
Coming out of the Chicago zone. Puck bounced off. Kerr comes in, and he hit the top crossbar. He beats Lozinski. What a shot from just to the top of the circle, off the top crossbar, down into the net. A terrific shot by Kerr.
Willie Huber was the only man back. He was doing what he could to break up the passing, and then Kerr just fired the shot.
Willie was going to go for the puck first and then realized that he would have been beaten on it, so he just backed up. He did what he could do. Kerr from the top of the circle really got all the wood on it, off the top crossbar.
Well, Kerr has his 28th goal on the season. Higgins, a centering pass, broken up in front. Here's Nedemansky holding it in, off to McAdam, right out in front, Korn. Oh, and Korn wide open in front of the goal, and Esposito made the save on him, and Jim Korn just turned around, got the puck right there, and Esposito on his knees just didn't give him any room to shoot.
That's too bad. Jimmy Korn just picks up a puck right at the edge of the goal crease. Esposito down on his hands and knees, and he really didn't have anywhere to put it. He tried to get it up, but he didn't succeed. And he has played a strong game, too, for the Wings this afternoon. Jimmy Korn playing up in left wing.
So the face-off will be to the right side of the Chicago goal. The side of the Chicago goal, Greg Foxen after it. Now Lysiak up the left wing to Marsh, Peter Marsh. Into the Detroit zone, took a shot. Lozinski stopped that, then knocked away the rebound, fired by Preston. And he rather wisely grabs it the third time. But there for Mark Curtin. Larson goes deep into the corner, put it right out in front. There's a pass to Curtin with a shot, and Esposito got to that. Whew, a pretty play by the Wings in close. And it took a great move by Tony Esposito. So
beautiful play, beautiful pass out to Curtin, and Curtin got a shot away just while he was being bothered by a Chicago player, but Esposito, that big body, moved over, made the save, then jumped on the loose puck.
So the face-off stays back after Curtin, giving it to Larson. A half a minute to go. Here's Reed Larson from center ice with a shot. Esposito stopped it, and it's taken again by Murray. Murray lifts it down the ice. Back after it, Larson. Reed Larson playing it ahead. That's knocked away. Now Murray shooting it back into the Detroit zone. Huber goes in with McPatterson. They take it in along the boards, deep in the Detroit end, holding it there. 5 seconds to go. And this game is going to end as a 4-3 victory for the Chicago Blackhawks, despite one of the better performances the Detroit Red Wings have shown throughout a good part of the season. So they are out congratulating, Tony Esposito, as well they should, the Blackhawks. But in the Red Wing end tonight, Larry Lozinski played a very strong hockey game. We are going to be back to recap it all for you after we pause now for this message.